What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to Superhero Central, and with the massive success that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier had, Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, has gained a lot of popularity. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was great, but believe it or not, the MCU has kept out a lot of his origin story, which kind of stinks because his background is pretty awesome and inspiring. All the way from the murdering of his parents to Professor Charles Xavier thinking he was a mutant. Pretty interesting stuff, so let's dive into it. Sam Wilson, who has been known as Blackbird, Snap Wilson, Brother Superhero, Brother Falcon, and Captain America himself, grew up in the streets of Harlem. He grew up listening to the sermons from his minister father, Paul. These sermons planted a sense of justice and fairness in Sam's young self that grew over the years, making him into an overall nice guy, always striving for goodness, even after the murdering of both of his parents. His father Paul was murdered right in front of Sam when his father was trying to break up a gang fight, and later, Sam's mother, Darlene, was killed during a mugging. This left Sam alone to raise both his brother and sister. This all helped create a strong and courageous warrior. During his life, Sam developed a talent for communicating with birds. One day he came across a falcon named Redwing, who would later become more of a friend and sidekick rather than a pet. He developed a telepathic connection with birds, especially with Redwing. This telepathic connection with the birds was so strong that Professor Xavier himself thought that Sam might be a mutant, but sadly, Sam proved not to be. And then, while on the island of the Exiles, Sam met Captain America. Wilson was first introduced in the comics in Captain America number 117. He was the first African-American superhero in mainstream comic books. He had already taken on a heroic role, but was not yet the Falcon. He had been tricked into bringing his bird, Redwing, to the island of the Exiles. He'd been on the island some time when Steve Rogers first arrived. However, at that point, the Red Skull used a cosmic cube to switch bodies with Captain America. The two initially met without Sam realizing that he helped Captain America. Recognizing Sam's heroic spirit, Steve inspired Sam to train and develop the Falcon identity before taking on the Exiles. Around that time, the Skull used the cosmic cube to bring the heroes to him, switching Rogers back to his Captain America body in the process. Captain America and the Falcon worked well together in defeating the Red Skull, and fun fact, Sam originally wore a green and orange costume. So now, Sam officially being the Falcon, his new heroic identity, Wilson returned to Harlem, where he strived to keep the streets of his hometown safe. But eventually, he and Captain America joined together and became official partners. Together, Falcon and Captain America tackled everything from racism and poverty to supervillains like Stoneface, Hydra, and the Red Skull. During this time, Wilson switched from his original green and orange costume to the more familiar red and white one that we see today on screen in the MCU. Eventually, the Falcon upped his game and took on a whole new level of fighting when he received his wings that were developed by the Black Panther. And another fun fact, he was actually close friends with the Black Panther and other superheroes like Nomad, Black Widow, D-Man, and Sharon Carter, which we are seeing now in Disney Plus's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. As Falcon, Sam uses his fighting skills and connection with Redwing to fight villains. With now being trained by Captain America, he has become a skilled fighting machine. He and Captain America made a great team. However, after some time, he did branch out on his own for a bit. But the Avengers wanted him on their team, but the invitation was partially based on his status as a minority hero. Wilson didn't love the idea of being considered a token to the team, but he decided to join anyways. He helped the Avengers fight Absorbing Man, a Cthulhu-possessed Scarlet Witch, Grey Gargoyle, and Inferno. During Wanda Maximoff's attack on the Avengers, she destabilized Sam's mind to the point to where the Snap Wilson personality resurfaced, making him erratic and dangerous. Sam supposedly had a history as Snap Wilson, a hustler who moved to Los Angeles and wound up on the island of Exiles while planning a big score. It was later revealed that the Red Skull had created the Snap Wilson persona with his cosmic cube in an effort to create confusion and doubt in Sam. This destabilization of Sam's mind was so deep and intense that it made him retire from heroics altogether at that time. And another fun fact, Sam was running for Congress, but this whole mind thing ruined his running. But eventually, Sam overcame this, got back to his feet, and returned as the Falcon and stood by Steve when they first suspected, and later confirmed, that Bucky Barnes returned as the Winter Soldier. And then when Bucky's memories returned and he was playing Captain America after the events of the Civil War, Falcon continued watching the new Captain America's back. During this process, he became embroiled in Red Skull's plot to destroy Rogers, but ultimately helped fight the villain's plan and brought back his longtime friend. Even after Rogers returned, Bucky continued serving as Captain America with Falcon. Together, they took down William Burnside, the 1950s Cap who went insane and took over the Watchdogs. After Steve Rogers lost his ability and was physically advanced to his actual age by the villain Iron Nail, he passed the mantle of Captain America to Sam. Now, this was a lot of responsibility for Sam, and he had big shoes to fill, but he did it anyways, and he did it well. Wielding the shield, as well as a new costume that integrated Cap's symbol and colors with his wingsuit, Sam got right to work defending the innocent and forging his own path as a superhero. Sam served as Captain America through the reality-shaking events of Secret Wars and came out on the other side still wielding the shield. Aided by Misty Knight, who he actually had a romantic relationship with, and D-Man, Sam continued blazing his own trail as Cap. But this was very difficult because he received some persecution from those who did not want any change to the original Captain America's identity. And Sam also continued to work alongside Bucky, and we are seeing some of these things in the current show, like he and Bucky being partners even though they won't admit it, are in denial and needed so-called counseling. And of course, let's not forget them not moving their passenger car seats up for each other.
Can you move your seat up? No.
Anyways, eventually, believe it or not, Steve Rogers, who resumed the role of Captain America after regaining his youth, would take over the United States and declare it a part of Hydra. Completely disillusioned by Steve's apparent heel turn during Secret Empire, Wilson gave up his Captain America gear and instead focused on getting people out of the country. After passing on an opportunity to join the Underground, he worked with the group to track down the last piece of Kobik. Claiming to want nothing to do with fighting his friend, Sam still stood up and resisted the powerful leader of Hydra. This inspired everyone else to continue fighting. He used a cosmic cube fragment to destroy the Dark Force dome and free the Inhumans. From there, he facilitated the Winter Soldier's plan to use the last fragment to restore Kobik, go inside of Steve's mind, and pull out the good hero and the living cube, which succeeded. With the one true Captain America back in the saddle, Sam decided to hang up Cap's shield and return to his role as Falcon. He donned a new costume, started training the new Patriot, and battled the likes of Blackheart. So that is Falcon's backstory, and personally one of my favorites, and as you can see here, it is a lot different than his origin story in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the show did do a good job at calling from some parts in the comics and putting them in the show. And overall, the story of Season 1 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was pretty fantastic. But let me know what you think of Sam's original comic origin story in the comments down below. Do you like his origin story? Do you like how Disney has portrayed his character in the MCU? Let me know down below, and don't forget to subscribe for some more awesome superhero videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Meow meow.